What does FedEx's most recent tweet have to say about Denny Hamlin's concerns? Is NASCAR going to be dominated by other racing? Stay with us to know all about the off-season updates on NASCAR. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button so that you can join the beautiful NASCAR Inside family. First, let's take on highlight that SRX has announced its schedule for the 2023 season, which may not be good for NASCAR. Superstar Racing Experience, SRX, released its full schedule for 2023. They had already said that they were working with ESPN to show all of their 2023 races on Thursday nights as part of a new version of ESPN Thursday Night Thunder. The SRX race will be held at Stafford Motor Speedway for the third consecutive season. In addition, it is the only track on the itinerary for each of the 3 years that SRX has been touring. Eldora Speedway will also play host to the series once again. They had competed there in the past during the first season, during which Tony Stewart won the feature race, but they did not return there in 2022. The year 2023 sees its return. Another track that will be returning is the Lucas Oil Speedway. In addition to these 3 classics that are returning, they added 3 new tracks to the album. They are going to travel to the Thunder Road Speedball in Bear, Vermont, the Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia, and the Berlin Raceway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. On Thursday, July 13, the series will get underway at Stafford Motor Speedway in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Coverage of the event will begin on ESPN at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. On July 20, SRX will drive to the Thunder Road Speedball in Bear, Vermont, and on July 27, the tour will make its way to the Motor Mile Speedway in Radford, Virginia. On August 3, it will head in the opposite direction, to the Berlin Raceway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The last 2 races of the season for SRX take place on dirt tracks instead of asphalt. The first of these takes place on August 10 at Eldora Speedway in New Weston, Ohio, and the second takes place at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. The chief executive officer of SRX, Don Hawk, disclosed that the firm had reduced the calendar from 42 tracks to 6. According to him, the 6 tracks they selected came from a list of 42 outstanding sites, all of whom had a true interest in hosting an SRX event this summer. After that, he went on to discuss the factors that played into their decision-making process, saying, "When determining the calendar, they favored historic tracks that have had success holding big-time events. They are really excited with the 6 tracks that have been picked. The venues will be filled and offer amazing excitement and local racing passion that will come out on ESPN for Thursday Night Thunder. This next summer will feature some of the most exciting short-track racing ever. SRX at 6 classic short tracks located around the United States. They just cannot wait, and they are so happy for the fans to see it on ESPN in primetime." He went on to elaborate, saying it was vital to them to start off this summer at Stafford Motor Speedway, which is located in Bristol's backyard. Hawk said, as he came to the conclusion of the discussion, that lastly, capping up the year with a pair of back-to-back dirt races will put the drivers' flexibility to the test. Eldora is a facility on the international stage, and they are confident that Tony Stewart will provide them with the absolute finest services. And staging their championship at Lucas Oil Speedway in Missouri will be the ideal culmination to a varied and entertaining 2023 summer schedule. Which of the following tracks are you most excited to watch in the forthcoming season? Tell us in the comments section below. Also, do subscribe to our channel for more updates on NASCAR. Before the start of the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season, Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing extended their partnership with a multi-year contract deal. So did FedEx. Everything has been fine up until last month when it came out that both extensions will end after the 2023 season. Does anyone else feel like they've seen Kyle Busch before? This week, a new report came out about the delivery company's earnings. The new Cup season starts in less than 2 months. And if fans of the number 11 car weren't already worried about their driver's longtime relationship with FedEx and JGR lasting past 2023, they are now. Denny Hamlin and his fans will definitely remember the 2022 Cup Series season, but not always for the right reasons. Winning 2 races at Richmond and Charlotte was good in some ways, but the famous disqualification at Pocono happened. Or the time William Byron dumped the JGR car at Texas during the playoffs when there was a caution. For some reason, NASCAR officials didn't see it, so they didn't put the number 11 car back in second place and didn't penalize the HMS car until days later. At Martinsville, Hamlin did one last lap around the short track, thinking he had a good chance of making it to the Championship 4 race a week later in Phoenix and getting another chance to win that elusive title. This was probably the most painful moment of his career. Then, Ross Chastain made a move that went viral on video that shocked everyone who saw it. So you can imagine how surprised the driver was when that move took him out of the running for the title. When the season was over, the driver himself didn't get bad news, but his fans did. That's when Adam Stern of the Sports Business Journal said on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio that Hamlin and FedEx's contracts with Joe Gibbs Racing would end after the 2023 season. Denny Hamlin is 42 years old and knows that he is nearing the end of his racing career. Earlier this year, he said the same thing on the popular podcast Dale Jr. Download. He also talked about how he wants to end his career, and when the host asked him if he would be interested in driving for his own 2311 racing team in the future, he gave an interesting answer. Hamlin didn't hesitate to say,
not if FedEx extends. Yeah. I think that I would like to retire at Gibbs with FedEx because it's so unique to have a sponsor that has been part of the sport as long as they have and backed me as long as they have.
Sure.
There's just no way I could leave them. I mean, maybe at that point, then I just run 1 or 2 races or something. Well, then I wouldn't win my last race probably. But I would like to retire at Gibbs with FedEx. But if things change, then things change, and then you got to reevaluate.
Yeah.
Things have changed in a big way, which is bad for Hamlin. The delivery company said this week that it would cut another $1 billion in costs because weak demand had cut into its quarterly profit. In September, the company announced plans to cut costs, such as parking planes and closing some offices, because demand was falling around the world. It also made the cost of sending packages go up. The CEO warned at the time that the economy would go into a worldwide recession. In other words, FedEx executives are trying to save money in any way they can. Logic would say that getting rid of a reported $10 to $20 million NASCAR sponsorship every year could be a high-value consideration. If that happens, Hamlin would be doing what Kyle Busch did last year, which wasn't very fun. The two-time champion didn't want to be in that position, and Hamlin will try to avoid something similar if he can, since he's already said that at his age, he has enough natural obstacles in his way. What do you think will be the scenario for the 2023 season? Let us know in the comments section below. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates.